Hey out there. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. I'm sitting down here in Union Beach. You know, I was thinking. Matter of fact, I'm always thinking. We're always thinking, right? I heard somebody once say, trying to stop yourself from thinking is trying to stop your circulatory system. It can't be done. You just keep on thinking. So I try to think of positive stuff. I got my earbuds in a lot of times. I'm listening to motivational stuff or, how to make money, how to help people, how to be a better person, different things like that. Because my mind and the thinking is always going. And if I don't have something like that in my ears sometimes, I could drift towards another way. Anyway, that's a whole different video. I was thinking about real estate. I think about real estate quite a bit. I buy real estate and I hold it or I flip it. But I'm always thinking about real estate. I was thinking about this problem that we're going through right now. I don't know in your neck of the woods if it's the same way. I think it is. But around here in New Jersey, there's a couple different problems that we're having. I don't know if they're necessarily problems as much as obstacles. Here, I'll give you a couple of them. The rental market in this area, there's nothing for rent. As far as the inventory of houses for sale on the market, it's very low. Building materials are, I don't know what the stats are, but it's got to be at least double the cost for building materials now than before this pandemic thing happened. So you have people looking for houses that can't find houses. You got builders out there that are looking to build new places, but the building materials are so expensive, it's exasperating. I was going to sneak that word in today somehow, and I did. It's exasperating the market so that the prices are going up. So the house values and prices are going up. There's nothing on the market, and builders are struggling to make ends meet with the cost of building materials. That's Union Beach. It's the bay. You got Manhattan over there. Anyway, there's another problem that's going on in today's world, and that is that so many businesses are shutting down. You have commercial and retail businesses that are just going out of business left and right, or at least if they're not going out of business, they're changing the way that they do business. And the brick and mortar locations that they had are just becoming vacant, and they're just sitting there. I'm going to show you an example. This didn't happen. This didn't become vacant because of what we're going through right now with this pandemic and everything else. But it has been vacant for a while. Let me show you this building. So here's one of these buildings. It's the old Bradley's. Bradley's was like a department store before like Target and stuff like that. It was like, I guess, right in line with like Kmart's, and you know what happened to Kmart's too, right? So Bradley's is out of business. This building has been sitting vacant for at least 20 years. I looked up some stats. I don't have the price of what they would be selling it for. There's a for sale sign there. But the stats are, it's 94,000 square feet. I don't know how big your house is that you live in, or your apartment, or your condo, or your townhouse, or your mobile home, or wherever you live, but 94,000 square feet, that's huge. It's built out of block, cement block. This is a view from the other side, so I can give you an idea of how big this building is. And this parking lot belongs to that building. We're in so if you go up that way, you're going up to the highway, and then you have a residential neighborhood over here. And then this road leads down into Union Beach, residential neighborhood, empty lot. This is a neighborhood in Union Beach that's literally a quarter mile from the building that I just showed you. These houses are very modest. I'm guesstimating the square feet in the majority of these houses are between 12 and 1,400 square feet. In today's world, these houses, the values have increased substantially over the past year and a half. I'd have to look at each individual one to give you a more accurate picture. But I'm going to tell you that each one of these houses are worth close to $400,000 now. That one's probably worth even more. It's got two stories. The smallest ones are in the mid to high 300s, possibly approaching $400,000. So I had to come over to Target. I got to get a wreath for the front of that house. You know, a typical Target store is like 100,000 square feet. Do you need another Target in your area? We don't. How could you not get in a better mood coming down the greeting card aisle? Let's read one of these. Come on, that's some good stuff, right? So check out this wreath. I scored that there was a wreath left this late into the season. Beautiful. Do you know what the lines are like in Target at this time of the year? What's today? I think today's December 20th. So I go through the self-checkout line, right? Because it seems like it's moving faster. So once I get through there, then I turn around to the person that's monitoring the self-checkout area, and I said, was I the fastest checker-outer today? And he said, matter of fact, you were. And I said, is there any kind of an award or something? All right, so I came out to the Kingsburg house one more time. I want to clean it up. I got the appraiser coming tomorrow morning between 9:30 and 10:30. Matter of fact, if you guys are watching this before then, could you cross your fingers? Because I need the highest value possible. The higher the value, the more money I get to put in my pocket. Here, I'll just give you a little summary of how that works. When I buy a piece of property that's like this rundown, then I got to come out of pocket with cash. Decent amount of cash. And then I use a hard money lender that charges me through the nose with interest rates. However, it's worth it. Then when I get done with the piece of property, unless I want to sell it, which I don't want to sell it, then I have to use a specialty or a niche lender that does this type of a loan. And what I mean by that is if you go to a traditional lender like that's doing Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac loans, or a local mortgage company or bank or something, they're going to want you to hold on to the piece of property for at least 12 months. And then they still have so much red tape. So this particular lender who's sending out the appraiser tomorrow doesn't work like that. I can have this house for 30 days and they'll refinance me at the current market value. So putting that wreath on the door, right, adds a little pop of color. I know I said this 100 times about this floor, but I am loving this floor. Costco special, $1.60 a square foot, luxury vinyl planking, 100% waterproof. All right, back to the wreath. In my head, in my delusional head, I think maybe the appraiser is going to give me an extra 10 or 20,000 value because there's a wreath on the front door. That's not how it works. However, the higher the value, the better. So listen, I want to make this video because I see a problem that's out there. There are quite a few problems as far as related to real estate. There's no rentals. There's no rentals available in this area. I guess there is in a much higher price range than what I'm used to seeing, but I know at least 3 people over the past week and a half have called me, and they're either looking for one or they know somebody looking for one, and they asked me if I had anything available, and I don't. I know from the rental that we did, the Brown House, that got quite a bit of activity, but the one that really made me think about this was that small place in Hazlet that we rented out, Diane and I. Had 50 applications in 6 hours, and then we rented it for way more than what we thought we could ever get for it, because there's just nothing out there. So we have a rental shortage. We have a very low inventory of homes on the market for people to buy and move into. I mean, I could use that as an excuse to sell this house and get more money than what I would have gotten a year ago. But this is for long-term growth, so I'd really rather not sell it. So low inventory, no rentals, building costs, material to build new is skyrocketed over the past year and a half or two since this pandemic. Everything has gone up. Like a 2x4 used to be $2 and now it's $8. Don't quote me on those figures. It might be a slight exaggeration. But I think it would be safe to say it's at least double. building materials are at least double. So if you can keep an existing structure and modify that and save on all that material, it just makes sense. I mean, if you want to get into environmental issues, or I don't want to say anything negative, I think maybe calling somebody a tree hugger might be negative. But if you're concerned about the environment and waste and things like that, there's no downside to what I'm saying, in other words. I'm not saying we have to start off, like I said, with that 94,000 square foot building. We could start off with something a lot smaller, but maybe we can all put our heads together and come up with some way to turn retail or commercial space into residential. Now, before I close this video, well, I'm going to make another video and I'm going to give you a specific example of my vision on a specific property. It's going to be much smaller than 94,000 square feet. It's going to be big though. I'm going to have some numbers for how much we can buy it for. Notice how I'm saying we? Just an estimate of what kind of cost would be involved to make it into a residential. And you and I, we're going to put our heads together and come up with a solution. But before I close this little video, I just want to say, I recognize that there's going to be naysayers out there. You know what a naysayer is. Somebody that wants to squash somebody's dream. Somebody that has contempt prior to investigation. A critic. Remember what I said about critics. They've never built a statue for a critic. But there's going to be some naysayers out there. Say, hey, listen, you can't do that. It's not zoned residential. You can't do that. No one's done it. There's a reason why no one's done it, Harry, because you can't do it. Can't. Yeah, say can't again. So there's going to be some naysayers out there. We don't want to listen to them. We want to say, hey, listen, instead of staying in the problem, let's come up with a solution. So the next video I make is going to be a specific example of turning something that's an ugly eyesore, a relic, a dinosaur of things from yesteryear, into something beautiful and hip. Yeah.